Are there extraterrestrial beings that look different to humans?
No.
The current spiritual environment would say a resounding yes to that, but I don't ever hear you discuss this, nor do I hear mention of it in some of the books you have suggested about the spirit world. Perhaps
there's a reason for that. The answer is no.
There isn't.
There isn't. But, however, there are many of the people who channel, so-called energies or spirits, don't realise that they're actually channeling humans who used to live on Earth, who are in very, very dark conditions, and who are also portraying themselves to be extraterrestrials, so that they get some level of control or interest from the person on Earth. So it's easy to project an image as a spirit to a person on Earth if that person is magnetically, as we've described before, open or emotionally open to receiving the image. And so if I believe in extraterrestrials that look like big aliens with big heads and little bodies, then of course I can easily have an image projected at me because I'm openly accepting that particular perspective. And then as a result of that, I can be easily influenced to believe those particular things. And it gives the spirits involved a feeling of power over my life and a power over my belief systems, which obviously feeds some of their codependent addictions. So there are many, like lizard forms and other forms and animal forms and everything that are presented by spirits to humanity. But the reality is no one exists in this universe in terms of a conscious human soul-based being with free will and thinking that doesn't look like us.
Okay.
Even though there may be, if you can call them extraterrestrials, there will be different Earths and different people who look like us on those Earths. The reason why is because it's quite simple. God designed the human to be the best possible design it could possibly be, and God doesn't design things unless it's the best possible. If God designed the pinnacle of God's creation to be the best possible design. Now, all the other creatures God did not design in that way. God designed for variety. Whereas when it comes to the human form, God created it in the best possible way that God could, which is the reason why all free thinking and free will based beings in the universe all look like us. And you will meet them in the future. You can meet them in the future. But there is certainly no extraterrestrials as defined by these people on Earth who are what would you say, coming up with all of these imaginary beings. And the reason...
Palladians and...
they're spirits who claim to be such. And they claim to be such for all sorts of reasons. And I've spoken to them, and in the end I've talked to them about their earth life. Every one of them's had an earth life. It's just claims they make. They want humans to believe certain things because if the human believes it, then they'll accept the influence. And this is a problem. And fear is also an influence. So, even things like taking a body from a human and torturing it and putting it back on Earth, and extraterrestrials so-called doing that, these are all spirits doing this in people's sleep state. So these are actual events that occur in the sleep state of the individual, but the person on Earth is very open to that event occurring.
So Kathy goes on and she says, perhaps there are separate spirit worlds for different races.
No.
And she says, I'm confused by the exclusion of this topic and the sheer prevalence of it in mainstream spiritual teachings.
Yes. The reason why it's in mainstream spiritual teachings is because the majority of people who are channeling these particular spirits who are involved, who are all people who have lived on Earth, is that the people who are channeling them are not aware and cannot feel the history of the individuals. And so they present it as a truth when it's not a truth. And we only present truths, we don't present a whole heap of things that are false. We have explained as to why that is very prevalent for people to believe in these groups of people and to believe in extraterrestrials such as Palladians and others. And we've explained that in quite a lot of detail. But unfortunately, the majority of people don't wish to accept that. And therefore do not wish to fully investigate the spirits they're actually channeling. And that's the main reason why, you know, we don't wish to channel those people aside from helping them come to terms with why they are lying to humanity.
And we have done that in the past, haven't we?
We have done, yes.
We've spoken to spirits who call themselves Palladians, and
yes,
they've come to.
And we haven't recorded such mediumship, but the reality is we've spoken to many of them. And as I said, every single one of them in the end is proven to be a person who used to live on Earth, or a group of people who used to live on Earth. And in fact, the energy of these groups is quite low. So the reality is that many of them are only able to be attracted to Earth because of the low condition of the people who are channeling them.
And sadly, they kind of gain energy from the adoration or the fascination or
which is their addiction.
Yeah, from the people on Earth. What they want from people on Earth is a sense of status and power and authority and knowledgeability. Yes. And when people on Earth give that emotion to them and place them above themselves, place the spirits above themselves, this is actually feeding a very negative codependent sort of situation. And as you mentioned earlier, because the people on Earth can't actually feel the spiritual condition of these spirits in terms of their condition of love, they end up in these quite damaging codependent interactions, don't they? Yeah.
Yes, and so you get these lizard people and these Palladians, and there's all these other things channeling to groups of people on Earth, and these people passionately believe that all of these people are real and so forth, and none of it's actually anything more than people in the spirit world who are falsifying their identity in order to impress people on Earth, in order to have some level of control or some kind of emotional experience with those people on Earth.
Yeah.